Hello, um, this is Goosebumps Scotland back with another review. I think this is the first one in maybe a bit under a year. Um, yeah, so I'm doing a review for Chicken Chicken today. It's the book. I just finished reading it earlier. Um, so yeah, let's just get into it. So this will be mostly spoiler-free review. At the end, I'll go into spoilers, but I'll put a warning before that. So the book follows the characters, forgot the name, Cole and Crystal. It's from Crystal's perspective. She's the main character. And there's this person who sort of lives nearby them called Vanessa. And she's sort of like, a lot of people think she's like really weird and stuff. She always wears black, and they're all kind of like, the basically, Cole, her brother, decides with his friends that they're gonna pull a prank on her, and what they do is they like fill her mailbox with water, or liquid or something, and then she gets like pretty annoyed, and later in the book they accidentally knock over like her groceries, I'm pretty sure. So she says to them, chicken chicken. And um basically, this could technically count as a spoiler, but I'm pretty sure if you read the back it's mentioned. um or if you look at the cover, basically the characters, Crystal and Cole, start turning into chickens. It's like set up earlier in the book. They live in a farm with their parents, and they really hate the chickens. Um, so you know, but yeah, overall, I think this book, like, objectively, it's one of the worst Goosebumps books, but there is like a bit of sort of so bad it's good stuff, so like you can get a bit of like ironic enjoyment out of it. And it's like weird because they sort of try to make it like a sort of comedy, or not necessarily comedy, I guess sort of like a goofy Goosebumps book, but they don't really do it super well. They've is Yeah, so it's kind of weird, but yeah, I thought overall, like, what the main thing I think the book was best at is it did actually do some decent body horror. Um, for like, a Goosebumps book written for 9 to 12 year olds. It's not as good as like I Live in Your Basement or anything, but for a Goosebumps book, it is good. And yeah, I'm saying this about the book for like, but anyway, um, overall, I think I'm gonna delve into spoilers in a minute. I think the twist. I didn't like the twist. It felt really tacked on, but like 90% of Goosebumps books do. So, and it's kind of predictable. But yeah, so now I'm gonna get into spoilers. So I'm gonna give you a few seconds to click off the video, and if you don't, I guess that's, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah. The Basically, I'm getting into spoilers. You can click off now. But what happened is there's this like barbecue, and her brother starts like, uh, what is it? He starts eating, like going into the chicken coop and starts like eating all the, what is it, seeds or something. And yeah, it's really awkward and stuff. And the characters, they're growing like feathers and stuff, and they need to take them out. The main character's lip starts like curving into a beak. Sorry for the pause. And the character's like mouth starts growing into a beak, and it's sort of really weird. And she's at like basketball practice, and she starts doing like, the chicken dance where you like put your arms into your armpits. Like, she starts doing that naturally. And her and her brother, they start saying bok in between sentences, and it's just really weird. But anyway, what ends up happening is they're basically near the end of the book, like last 15-20 pages, the characters, they're pretty much like on the verge of basically becoming chickens. Their like eyes are moving to the side of their head and stuff, and they're like, they're like running over to Vanessa's house, and then she's sort of she's saying, "Oh, the reason I did it is because you didn't have good manners and you didn't apologize for knocking over my stuff." And then they're like, "Oh, okay, we're sorry. Forgot to mention that they turned the before Vanessa comes back to her house. They try to turn themselves back into humans, but it doesn't really work out super well, and they end up turning into chicks. So they need to communicate by like going on a typewriter and like typing on it. But yeah, and then eventually the main character is so like Vanessa, she's sort of like obsessed with manners. She's got like books about it and stuff. And anyway, the main character, like Vanessa saying, "Oh, she can't, I can't turn you back, sorry." And the main character, she writes, "Okay, thank you for teaching us a lesson about manners," in her sort of last hope thing. I don't know. But anyway, what happens is Vanessa's like, "Oh, you wrote me a thank you note. People don't do that nowadays. Thank you so much." And she turns them back into humans, and it's all happy. And then she just says at the end, in like the last sentence, "Pig, pig." Like, it's sort of a predictable twist, if you can really call it that. But yeah, I wasn't a super big fan of that. It felt kind of lazy, and um, yeah, I can probably find it. It's just like it might be the last words. Yeah, and anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much the end of the book, and it didn't really make much sense. Like, she's just gone out of her way to turn them back into humans, and she's talked about how nice they were, and then she's turning them into a pig. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's not that deep, and yeah. So overall, I'd probably rate this book maybe a 5 out of 10, maybe a 4 out of 10, because there is a bit of ironic enjoyment with this being sort of infamous for being the worst Goosebumps book, or not necessarily the worst, but like one of the most sort of memed ones in the community that people make jokes about. But yeah. So yeah, I think maybe a 5 out of 10, maybe a 4.5. But yeah, I thought it was okay, not the best, not the worst. Um, Anyway, expect a review for another book at some point. I need to do a review. Uh, I think next, not immediately, but I'll do a review for Curse of the. What is it? The new Mommy book. I can't remember the name. Spoiler alert! I didn't really like it, but that'll be coming up maybe within the next week. But what has been quite a while since I read it. So yeah. Anyway, bye. See you, viewers.